Hello everyone, this is Ken from Keystroke, and today we're going to be doing a webinar on managing transactions inside of ACT using QSales, and specifically QuickBooks transactions. So QSales provides a seamless integration between ACT and QuickBooks, and we're going to show you what that looks like today in terms of managing and creating and editing transactions. So the first thing to note is that this particular contact is linked to a customer in QuickBooks. You can see that here, this particular QB ID, which means that he's linked. And then you can see a number of transactions here in the summary tab, okay, the QB summary tab. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to create a transaction, an invoice in particular, and then we're going to apply a payment against it. So let's begin. From this drop down, it's always going to display the last option that you used. So I'm going to click on Invoice. And as you can see, we've got a number of editable fields. We've got class, which is used for segmenting your QuickBooks database for reporting purposes. Not everyone uses it. We use it internally. Sales rep, that's fairly self-evident. So if you're the ACT user, in this case, you may actually want to assign yourself as the sales rep in this case, so you get credit for it. That's also going to lead to user adoption. Then the payment terms. So we're going to put on due on receipt. As you can see, this invoice has automatically been pre-populated with the bill to and ship to information from the contact record. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add a couple of line items. I'm going to click on here. I'm going to select this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to a sample product and correct the spelling. And then what we're going to do is we're going to give it a rate. And we're not going to touch the tax code because I'm going to show you how to apply a tax code to all the line items at once. So then what we're going to do is we're going to click on Add Again. Now, if you have a lot of products, you don't have to worry about selecting from drop-down. You can actually just type in and it will auto-complete. In this case, I'm going to put in 2. You can either type it in or use the dialer. And I'm going to put in another sample product. And I'm going to put in $400. Okay, and that's it for this particular transaction. So I want to apply a sales tax to all of the items as opposed to doing them individually. So all I got to do is go down here and select any one of these sales. I'm going to select GST, which is 5%. And then I'm going to put in a customer message. And you're going to notice that GST is applied automatically to each of the line items because it's being applied at the customer level. And now I'm going to click on Save. Invoice 114. So let's go over to QuickBooks. And as we can see here, we have Invoice 114 automatically created, reflecting all the information that we typed in. And now you can see the terms, you can see everything, okay, including the tax code for each and every item, the line item descriptions, you name it, including the customer message. So all of this information was created instantly in QuickBooks right from within ACT. And the beauty of QSales is you can either be where the QuickBooks file is, like behind the firewall or on the network, or you can actually configure it to work remotely with an RDB or a subscriber database from an offsite location. Okay, so now we've got that, and this customer has a balance, an invoice of $10.50. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to go to another contact record. So let's say I've completed Jim's transaction. I'm going to look up all contacts. I'm going to go into, let's say, Andy Harrison's record. And suddenly Jim calls me back and he says, I'm ready to pay for the bill. And I've got to look up the transaction. So I'm going to click on Look Up Transaction. He says the invoice number is 114. I know it's an invoice. I'm going to click on OK. And boom, I automatically find him. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is he's got a payment. I'm going to click on this drop-down menu. I'm going to select Receive Payment. minimize this. Okay, and you can see here that we now have a QuickBooks or a receive payment window that comes up. Now you can put in a transaction number if you wish, but mostly what you're going to need to do is indicate how they're paying. You click on MasterCard in this case. You're going to click on Add because Jim has a number of invoices outstanding, and you've got to indicate which one he's applying it to. So in this case, it's number 114. This will list all the open invoices. You notice that it will automatically populate here. Okay, you can put in a customer message if you like. And now the payment has been received. Now let's go over and check Jim's record in QuickBooks. And now you can see the payment is right there. The invoice is there, the payment is there, and his balance is back to what it used to be. Now, let's say you need to edit a transaction. You've gone in, made a mistake, okay, and the customer says, no, I didn't need 3 of that. I only needed 1. So obviously, it's not going to be on one of the invoices that have been paid. So let's go to the one of the earlier ones. You can open that up by simply double clicking. Okay, and then you go through and he says, no, I actually want 7. Enter in a description in this case. Okay, and you realize maybe the tax code is wrong. So you want to change that tax code here. Okay, now, according to the permissions that the user has assigned to them, they will either see the blue button appear or they won't see the blue button appear. If they have full or edit transaction permissions, they will see the blue button appear. If they don't have that permission, then they will not see it and they'll only have cancel here, okay? So that's why we want to make sure that the people understand their permissions so they don't try to go in and do things that their permissions don't support, okay? But that's all there is to creating this transaction. I'm just going to click on cancel here. And then for the final piece I wanted to show is, let's see that you wanted to see all the transactions. So in this case, we want to make sure that we've got all the transactions. So we're going to click on refresh from QuickBooks. Okay, we've got them all. Okay, now each one of these things, let's say I only want to look at invoices. These are all organized as custom tables. So the custom tables allows you to filter transactions. So you can say, I want to see only invoices. Okay. Let's say you want to see a certain date range. You can click here and say, show me last year, this appears. Show me this year, okay, or this month, whichever. You can show all the different filters, and this is kind of like a reporting filter capability that you've got, okay? Basically any single one. Now, if you were a sales rep and you had all these transactions, you just wanted to review the deals that you were involved in, then you can click on that and select your name amongst the sales reps. So imagine being able to look at all your transactions, select you as the sales rep, select a particular date range, and instantly you'll be able to see all the transactions that you had from a particular time frame. So without having to have access to QuickBooks, you've got immediate feedback on what your sales performance is. Now, a lot of people will say, well, why wouldn't I get that from opportunities? Well, opportunities only relate to those deals that went through your normal pipeline inside of ACT, but you can get referral income, you can get website deals that you get tagged on. This will show you everything because it's pulling the information from accounting. So I hope you found this useful. This was a review on how to manage transactions, manage QuickBooks transactions inside of ACT. Thanks for your time today.